All right, so since I have everything taken out of here right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the exhaust manifold and the intake manifold, just so after that, then I can run all my stuff, put my wiring harness back on, and pretty much put everything else on. But I definitely want to get this on first, just so I can run the wires and make sure nothing's going to be touching it when I start to put stuff back. So right now, we have our Dorman exhaust manifold. All right, there's the part if you wanted to look that up. So let's open it up. Okay, so we have the Dorman exhaust manifold. Comes with the... We have the Dorman exhaust manifold that comes with this heat shield on it. I haven't had luck with it in the past. Usually I just end up riveting or taking these rivets out. All right, and taking the heat shield off just because it won't want to fit with the intake. But I'm going to go ahead and try and keep the heat shield on here. Not that I'm sure it's doing much, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to throw that on. This is the gasket that came with the Dorman kit. You're going to want to take it. You could rest it on these dowel pins. Okay, so it should just sit just like that. We have a manifold with the heat shield on. You're going to run into an issue right here with this rivet. Okay, so what's going to happen is when you go to install this, this edge right here is going to end up catching on your motor mount, the piece that comes off of the motor. So what you're going to want to do is bend that in, and that should give you enough space to be able to move the whole manifold to the left. All right. All right, so what I did first here was put the manifold on, just rest it on the dowels. And we're going to see if we can fit the exhaust manifold underneath, just so we know that the manifold is pressed up against there enough. Okay, so we're going to take our longer bolts, make sure the manifold's on there. We're going to lift the exhaust. Get one bolt in so it's secure. Take our long bolt again, put it on the right. Okay. And we're going to want to take our short bolt with the custom washer. We're going to take this. We're going to just try to position the exhaust manifold to where you can start the bolt. Alright, so I really had to beat down this part with a hammer, just so your washer can fit flush up against it. If not, your washer is going to be crooked and it's not going to give you enough to get that short bolt in there. Alright, so keep that in mind if you want to keep the heat shield. You have to hit this top piece with a hammer, and you also have to go on the bottom and notch that part, which I'll show you once I'm done, how it looks down there after I beat that rivet in. Alright, so let's go ahead, install this one. You have one in the corner here, one in the corner here, and one on this side right here, and then you'll be done. Alright, so now you're going to take your bolts. You got one in here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put these in here. These are probably the worst ones. This bottom two in here. You have one on either side. They're going to hold half the intake, half the exhaust. Definitely the worst ones. Takes a little bit, but you know, once you get the right tool in there, to either remove them, start them by hand, and then, you know, tighten them with a special socket combination. All right, so that's pretty much it. You know, we got the intake in. It's looking good. Like I said, towards the end of the video, I'd show you. Now that I beat that rivet back, I had space to move it. I couldn't get the manifold to seat right, the intake manifold. It looked like the exhaust wouldn't go farther enough left for me to be able to fit this on the dowels and kind of have everything seated upright. Now I have all the bolts just hand tight, and now I'm going to go around with a wrench, 14 millimeter, just kind of tighten up every single one as we go, make sure they're all good. And I would definitely check them periodically because they do like to come loose. But that's pretty much it. Looks pretty good. I was able to keep the heat shield on. Normally, I typically don't, just because, like I said, there is fitment issues, such as that piece down there. And I thought it was going to hit the intake up here, but it looks like it just clears it, so we do have enough space for that. But overall, pretty easy install. I understand, you're going to have a lot more stuff in your way. I kind of have everything off at the moment, so it was a lot easier for me. And if you want to do that, be my guest. But you don't want to mess with all the brake lines and stuff and everything in your way. But it's definitely possible to do with everything still in your way. So